Hello, I'm Nick Munson, Communications Specialist here at Marymount University, and you are watching Faculty in Focus, our new video series featuring Marymount's faculty members, where we talk about their unique approaches to teaching, research, and service. And I have with me Dr. Todd Rimkus, Professor of Biology and Physical Sciences here at Marymount. I started working here at Marymount over the summer, and it didn't take long for me to hear your name. Of course, you're well known around here for your work with tagging sea turtles in Belize over the summer term. For those out there who aren't familiar with these projects, can you tell us a little bit about what they're about and how you initially got started with them? What piqued your interest early on?
Sure. So my interest in Belize is started way back with a study abroad opportunity that was brought to me. And at the time, Professor Black was on campus with us, a microbiology professor, author of a book. And she came to me and said, "We have a new study abroad director, and I want to go to Belize." And I said, "Fantastic, let's go to Belize." Where then I had to look up where Belize is because I had no idea where this was. And so we started a study abroad program there. We went on this initial fact-finding trip, and the study abroad director was like, "Oh, I don't think we can do this because all Dr. Black ever talks about is things that are going to kill you." Mm-hmm. And so he was very nervous. And every night I would have a meeting with him and say, "No. All you have to do is eat lunch with her once to know that, really she always talks about all the things that can kill you." So we got through that. And then
Just par for the course.
Exactly. And so then that was 2007 was our first trip to Belize. And it didn't take long to get a group of students down there and see the poverty that's down there and think that, gosh, there's got to be something we can do for this community. And so it started off with, really looking at the research opportunities down there for myself. And the research opportunities were, there happened to be a guy down there, Kevin Andrewen, who was working with sea turtles and a hawksbill sea turtle. And so I thought, wow, this is kind of cool. And so I talked to him about the data, and we thought, you know what, there's got to be a way that we can support the work that's going on down there. They were funded by Wildlife Trust, and Wildlife Trust went belly up down there, and he lost his funding. And so we thought, well, gosh, there's got to be a way we can, get to funding this operation down there. And so we started Hawksbill Hope in 2009 with a group of Marymount students that went to Belize with me. We brainstormed and said, we got to start a charity. And so we started this charity, Hawksbill Hope, and Hawksbill Hope then took on the job of fundraising for getting a little bit of money down there so that they could do the daily walks to look for nests and covering and protecting sea turtle eggs and things like that. And so, from that point on, I'd been bringing down students every summer, sometimes 2 trips worth of students, and getting quite a bit of buzz on campus that, this is an exciting trip for kids to take. They get their natural science credit, and they get an opportunity to put hands on a sea turtle, which is a pretty unique experience. And so, we're going down there, and we're doing all of this stuff. And in 2017, it all changed. So, you can imagine that if, somebody approaches you and says, "Well, I want to tell you about how you can help with the research down in Gales Point, Belize. I want you to donate money so that you can help the sea turtles down there." And Rimkus, he talks about sea turtles all the time, so it's like, "Oh, sea turtles, let's, maybe we don't need to hear any more about your turtles, Rimkus." But that all changed in 2017, where I had a great group of students down there again, and we're learning about culture in Belize. And the culture we're learning about is a dance demonstration that night. And one of the kids is doing a dance demonstration, and he actually is up on a table, and he goes down into the splits. And I said, "Oh, the students are going to do that, not me." But so we're doing this dance demonstration, and the kid comes up to me afterwards. His name's James, and he says to me, "Dr. Rimkus, I want to go to high school." And I said, "James, that's a great aspiration. That's the kind of thing that you should do. You finished your elementary school, and it's the logical thing to do next." And he says, "No, I don't think you understand. I can't afford to go." And so at that point, I'm flabbergasted because, for us in the United States, it's high school. You just go because it's what you do. I didn't think of cost at all. And so I said, well, how much does it cost? And he says, I have no idea. And I said, okay, well, let me figure some stuff out. And so I went back to the person that we work with, Nancy Bailey. She runs the Manatee Lodge where we stay. And I went back to her and I said, Nancy, how much does it cost to send a kid to high school? And she says it costs about $300 US to send a kid to high school. And so I went back to James the very next day and I said, James, no problem. My wife and myself, we are going to put you through high school. And you keep going, you get grades, we're just going to keep marching right on. And before we left from that trip, I had found out about a girl who lost her father. And I thought, well, a single mother trying to come up with this $300 isn't going to be a thing either. So I said, definitely I'm going to cover her also. So then I went back to the board of Hawksbill Hope and I said, we have to help these kids. There's a better mission. There's a bigger mission here
than more than just
sea
those
turtles.
Two, I'm sure. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There's a bunch of kids in the village. So the village is about 500 people. And so, doing some research and looking around, it looked like there would be about 10 kids that would graduate the next year. And so I thought, okay, yeah, let's do some fundraising around this. Well, now, if you tell that story, if you tell the story about, sending children to high school, that it makes the huge difference for them of you're in a fishing, farming community, you're going to assimilate within that community, maybe get some money by doing odd jobs or moving over to Belize City and sending money back to your family, to going to high school and getting jobs like in the banks and in shops and starting your own tour company, anything within that, and or going on to higher education beyond that. And so really it's been a godsend to be involved in this and wonderful because Hawksbill Hope has given me this opportunity to do something with education. Now, I've been doing education for over 20 years, and this opportunity just sort of landed in my lap, and thinking about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I sort of dedicated my life to education. Why is this not a thing? And so we moved towards the idea of sending as many kids as we can, or sending any kids that are eligible to go to school. And so in the second year, we put 16 kids into school. And then somebody said to me, Rimkus, what are you doing? You have forgotten about the ones that were already in school. And so I said, yeah, you're right. So in the third year of the program, which just happened in August that I left, we have 32 kids that we're paying for going to high school. Now, this whole project is not about giving them money to go to high school. That's not what it's about. What it's about is them giving back to their community as well. And so they're all buying into this system of helping each other. So the older kids are helping the younger kids. We put a tutor in place to make sure that that's also there as support. And so some of the older kids act as the tutors or get involved in that tutoring operation. But they do village cleanups, beach cleanups. So they're involved with the sea turtles also. And so their whole mentality is changing to really help their own community and make the whole place a better place. So
these trips that you have every summer really have something for any Marymount student, no matter what school or major they're in. What kind of variety of interested students do you get for these courses?
So, again, as you mentioned, it is sort of a course that will help anybody at Marymount University. As a biology major, you take it as an upper elective that you need a certain number of those. As a non-major, though, the opportunities are fantastic because it will cover your natural science requirement with the lab. And so what happens there is the students get an opportunity to go with me to Belize in a very hands-on environment where we have guides and all kinds of professionals that are giving lectures and bringing them on tours and adventures. And that's how they earn their credits, is all hands-on. There's a little bit of writing and work that they have to turn in. So they do presentations to each other. And then they also have some reflective journaling stuff that they do and an essay at the end on a research topic that they choose. And so, but it's an opportunity for them to take a course where there's a lot of excitement every day, an opportunity to tag a sea turtle, pretty cool stuff. And then in addition to that, they're knocking off their natural science without ever having to, oh, geez, I'm at the lab and I got to cut open a fetal pig. I don't want to do that, type of thing. And so it's a really unique opportunity for our students to get those natural science credits.
Yeah, I'll say. As we know, service to others is one of the core pillars here at Marymount. How overall has that impacted how have you approached and planned these courses?
Yeah, so as a service element, it really seems that, this is a great opportunity to draw our students in and, really give them a firsthand look at what service looks like. The whole idea of fundraising and coming up with, money to send these kids to high school, that's one aspect. But there's a Belize Service Club on campus, a club that was started by Jesse Bricker and myself as we were teaching a Discover class and a freshman class. And we were telling them, well, anybody can start a club. And we were telling them, oh, and here's how you do it. And then we looked at each other and said, let's start a club. And so we started the Belize Service Club. And the Belize Service Club is making sure that all these kids that we're sending to school have backpacks and supplies. And we're even doing a clothing drive and a shoe drive. And so when we go down in the summer, we bring all this extra stuff to, give them greater opportunities. And so that sends the message that the Marymount students care. The Marymount students also write them letters, and the students in Gales Point write letters back. And so there's this great connection between the Marymount students and this community. And it shows that when you do service, you really do, start to pour your heart into the process. So it's a great opportunity for our students to fully engage in a service experience.
Mm-hmm. For yourself personally, going back to the mid-2000s, this Belize opportunity becomes possible for you. Coming from maybe not even knowing where Belize is on a map to, pouring your heart and soul into that country, reflecting on that journey over the past decade plus. How have you seen it affect you personally, not just as a teacher, but as a human being?
Yeah, wow. Great question. So I really think that, I find myself as an educator, and I care about all the students that I teach. I care about Belize in a great way because of this Belize project, and it's something where I have really seen myself grow in terms of my abilities to take on a project like this. If somebody would have said, "Oh, you're going to send 32 kids to high school in about 10 years," I'd have said, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know how that's going to be a possibility." To something where, I wake up every morning and I think, gosh, there's got to be better ways to fundraise. There's got to be better ways to get more people involved, more people excited about Belize. And so I see myself changing as, becoming somebody who embraces the service aspect to the nth degree.
Yeah, that's awesome. This all seems rather time-consuming in a way, of course. When do you find time for anything else like your regular teaching and research back here in Arlington?
Yeah, so when we talk about Belize and turtles, you talk about this all started because of turtles. My research is on turtles, and that's another way to engage students in the work I do. We do outreach with elementary schools, so bringing turtles there. So students who work in the lab are gaining experiences and learning things about turtles, and we share that with elementary, middle school, high school. We also do projects where we have turtles in schools, where they're doing the measurements for us and sending the measurements back, so they really engage themselves. And so what happens is I sort of find my life very simply as these are all things that I love to do. I couldn't imagine life without teaching. It's a joy for me to just walk in front of a classroom and engage them with whatever the topic is, whether it's anatomy and physiology, genetics, biology, whatever it is. I'm always excited to share that information. So I really don't even think that anybody would need to pay me to be a teacher. It would be something where I would just say, yes, I'll do that. The research aspect, again, that's getting students involved. That's an opportunity to teach, again, how to take a project from idea to practice to results. And again, it's working with students, and I love it. And again, it's, I mean, it just over and over again, it's something that just comes so naturally and is fun for me. So I don't even consider that I have a job. I don't even consider that I have, to go to work. So so many people in the area around here have a hard time, getting to work, commuting, and all that stuff. And it's a joy for me. It's like I'm going to a place I love. I'm going to do things that I love. I'm going to have fun. You
definitely subscribe to the feeling that you are not working a day in your life right now, right?
I agree with that 100%.
That's awesome. Dr. Rimkus, this has been a great conversation so far. Anything else you'd like to touch on before we wrap things up?
No, I just think that this is a great program that you guys are putting together to get information out about what we do as faculty members. So I appreciate your reaching out to me to do this.
Yeah, we definitely loved having you on.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks so
Great.
much. And thank you so much for watching Faculty in Focus. Stay tuned for our next episode.